Hello everyone. You are listening to this audiobook on channel Voice for Purpose by NSS IIT Bombay.
Let's talk about child labor. Surprised to hear it in a time where we think it to be completely eradicated? Well, I suppose you might be wrong to assume that. We are indeed way past when child labor was a major social evil, but now there are more literate people. Still, we are here talking about child labor. There still exists a kind of backlogged mindset stopping us from completely eradicating this social evil. In these times, we have been caught in a trap. The pandemic has resulted in a large-scale loss of employment. The children should not fall into the trap of child labor post this pandemic that has hit our economy so badly. There is a high risk of this possibility, and it needs sufficient and immediate measures. We have been driven into chaos, and greed among us has increased manyfold. A consequence of this was the practice of child trafficking, where children are kidnapped and transported to various places for slavery. A few years ago, the National Human Rights Commission rescued around 740 lay child laborers from different states. Still, the higher authorities responsible for rehabilitating these children showed a rather careless attitude towards the situation, which worsened the situation. Such an attitude ensured the child traffickers about how lightly the situation had been taken. It gives incentives to them to continue the heinous crime of child trafficking, which is one of the primary reasons for child labor. We have a child named Praveen who will take us to different places to meet some children and see how they deal with child labor there. Praveen takes us to Raju first, who lives with his mother and his younger sister in a small village. He works in a beedi factory there. He says he doesn't know why he works there. He says it is just as it is. Raju told us he couldn't read or write and he could count only up to 1,500 because he made that much beedis in a day. Praveen asks, "Do you know what the meaning of nimble finger is?" She says all the children have nimble fingers. The size of the fingers of children is such that they can perform small precision tasks. For instance, beedi making, very quickly. This is the reason why employers employ children in the first place. We went to Raju's mother to ask why Raju works in the factory. The mother helplessly says that they are in debt and the owner had taken in Raju to repay the debt by working as a bonded child laborer. A bonded child laborer works as a slave and does not get any payment. Instead, that payment is used to repay some debt. We could see dirt and cuts in Raju's hands and difficulty in breathing while having a conversation with him. Praveen now takes us to Neeraj. Finding Neeraj was difficult. Let's see why. He works in a garment industry. Have you ever thought about the new clothes we receive on our birthdays? Did you know that it was because of the small children working tirelessly straight for around 16 hours per day to process the clothes we buy? Somewhere in between the supply chains, that is, right from the order of a product by the customer to the preparation of the product and then finally selling it, children and their nimble fingers are exploited to get the job done. And because these supply chains are very complex, due to the evolution of markets in India, it is very challenging to track down in which part the malpractice is carried out. Therefore, the primary reason for hiring children appears to have nothing much to do with economic efficiency. Children are easier to manage than adults. Although less skilled, they are less aware of their rights, less troublesome, less complaining, and more flexible, and ultimately expendable. It would not be nice to talk about how worse the situation is. We can say considerable efforts are being made, giving us affirmative results in due course of time. Let's see what all efforts we have made till now. Do you know that the areas where child labor persists are in a kind of loophole? Since most children are deprived of education there, the economic development of the schools is terrible, which affects the teaching quality in schools. Because of this, it further repels the children from attending schools, which does not help eradicate this malpractice. PM Narendra Modi has taken a very reasonable step towards tackling this issue by introducing the Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana in 2014, and it is still active. Under this Yojana, different MPs were entitled to adopt some villages. They were given the duty to provide smart classes in the villages' schools by providing new technologies to allure the children to attend the classes more often. The results of this initiative looked very promising in the first implementation, and it is continuing to do so. It is a very proud moment for us that non-Indians too are helping us tackle child labor. A German activist has built a skateboarding park in Bundelkhand's Janwar village. But the park is not for anyone. It is only allowed for those kids who are enrolled in schools. And also, it has one more important rule. The girls are entitled to the skateboard first. In this Madhya Pradesh village, many children remain out of school, especially girls. The number of girls attending school has gone up in recent times. At the park, too, girls get preference. The kids share 15 boards, but the boys must let the girls go first, like good young gentlemen. Another praiseworthy effort by the government of Bihar, wherein the government provides bicycles to girl students in high school who score excellent marks. This initiative was implemented in 2007 and is still giving positive results. The Deputy CM of Patna said that the bicycle scheme has led to an increase in the number of girl students taking their 10th board exams from 1.8 lakh in 2005 to 8.22 lakhs in 2019. Not to forget, the students of various institutes are also directly or indirectly involved in tackling the issue. For instance, the National Service Scheme of various IITs, where the institute students teach the primary, secondary and high school students and also take tuition free of cost. Also, the students under the scheme post a plethora of information on YouTube every week about different topics. The main obstacle to overcome is what we need to make sure that these initiatives and plans don't fade away in due course. These initiatives are a victim of the commendable progress we are making. When we make some excellent achievements in a particular field, we tend to shift our focus from the side which needs maintenance and constant support. The situation is improving. The International Labour Organization estimates suggest child labour declined by 30% between 2000 and 2012. However, 11% of the world's children still are in situations that deprive them of the right to go to school without interference from work. Let's keep up what we are doing. The problem will become stable eventually.
So hope you guys had fun. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting audiobooks.